places like this, like, you know, like Libya, for example, back in the day. What the fuck? Or Iraq. No, absolutely not. Yeah, it's too much, man. Way too much. I am so happy this has happened. I am just...
Chat, when you are a world superpower and you're a world leader, there has to be a degree of intervention that you have to have. Because who the fuck else is gonna do what? That is my take. There, at least to some degree, to some issues in the world, superpowers owe it to the world, because it's in my opinion that to become a superpower you have to fuck a lot of people over, and fair enough, whatever, I guess that's the way of the world, right? Then you have to help people that need the help with the power that you've gained from fucking people over. It's at the very least, man.
I have to agree with X here. The long peace we've had in the past decades is the result of the rise and prominence of the US as a world superpower, which led to the creation of the UN, a US-led project. Cordell Hull, the then Secretary of State, is often called the father of the United Nations because he did the heavy diplomatic lifting. He won the 1945 Nobel Peace Prize for it. Without the UN and its power, mainly wielded by the USA, conflicts around the world would be an everyday occurrence and way bloodier.
Tremendously happy this has happened. I know that, you know, obviously I've talked about it for a long time, about how big of a problem Iran is.
Then why do you think the fucking US has a bunch of fucking military bases in a bunch of other places? Why do you think yeah, there's a lot of self-interest, right? But also at the same time, they kind of just have to. They're a superpower. Otherwise, if they weren't holding it down, then other people would invade everybody and do a bunch of bullshit. Of course they have to.
Another L has said.
But I know that you guys' geopolitics, my geopolitics are dog shit. I actually don't even know that much. I know for a fact that
so Hassan is a right-hard superhuman. If
USA was fucking nowhere doing fucking nothing, how many wars do you think would fucking sprout out of fucking nowhere? People would invade and do the wildest shit. Of course. And yes, that's self-fulfilling. It's self-serving in a certain way. But it also helps though. Like, how could you not understand this? How is that a bad take? Dude, how many videos have we watched? How many educational things have we watched about, let's say,
Asmongold and Hisson are both deplorable and overrated trash. Just like the Big Mac. Quarter pounder
about the piracy. About the piracy in the sea near the Suez Canal or whatever, right? On that coast where everybody has a military base and everybody's fucking locked in over there. Because they have to. You think that these days, if they're all extracted, oh guys, everybody's gonna do their thing and everything's gonna be nice and everything's gonna be chill. Come on, bro, really? That's so cap. That is so cap. Guys, Djibouti. Watch a video about Djibouti. Why everybody has a military base in Djibouti? We watched this. We watched a bunch of other videos about this shit. It's interesting. How do you not know anything about this?
Djibouti is a small country in the Horn of Africa that is most well known in the Western world for its funny-sounding name in English. Indeed, Djibouti is a country that few Westerners probably ever give a second thought about. It's only about the size of New Hampshire and only has a small population of about 957,000 people, the lowest population of any country on the entire mainland African continent. And yet,
I'm being educational. If you guys say I'm wrong, at least watch this.
Small size.
Djibouti
is one of the most serious and influential geopolitical hotspots in the entire world because of this. The sheer number of foreign military bases that have been established on its territory. I mean, just look at this map of the area immediately around Djibouti's capital city, which is also called Djibouti. You've got an American military base here, which is the only permanent military base the United States has got anywhere on the African continent. You've got a collection of French military bases up here, a French-operated airbase down here that the United States also uses to fly drones out of. You've got a Japanese military base over here, which is literally the only overseas base that the Japanese operate anyway.
Chat, let's give it a bucket. If there was no opposition, if there was a nobody to give anybody any pushback, tomorrow, China invades Taiwan, GG. Overnight. It would have, you know what? I would say overnight. In a few minutes, literally.
Where you've got an Italian military base
failing to understand this is ridiculous. There's no way you don't understand this.
French naval base up here. You've got German and Spanish soldiers who don't have bases of their own but get stationed up in these hotels. And then you've even got a Chinese People's Liberation Army naval base over here on the other side of town, opposite of the Americans and friends. The first overseas military base that the People's Republic of China ever built anywhere. And other countries are still actively trying to build their own bases here as well. In 2021, Djibouti agreed to allow Saudi Arabia Arabia to begin construction of a new military base in the country as well, which will likely appear somewhere near the American base when completed. And then for years now, Djibouti has also been courted by the Indian and Russian governments to construct some kind of base there for themselves as well. All of this means that as of 2023, Djibouti in fact has by far the highest per capita concentration of foreign military bases on its soil out of any country in the world. And that kind of begs a question. Why and how did this little country in the Horn of Africa essentially become the 21st century's global military base for all of the world's great powers to set up their operations in? Well, a lot of Djibouti's significance and value comes from its ideal geographic position. You see, while Djibouti is indeed small, it also sits precisely on the western side of the narrow Bab el-Mandeb Strait, immediately opposite of Yemen. At its narrowest point, this strait is about 28 kilometers wide, and it is those 28 kilometers that all ships must pass through in order to get between the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. And in effect, because of the Suez Canal further to the north through Egypt, it is the
And you guys said, "Oh, dude, what canal? What country?" You don't know any of this shit, man.
28 kilometers
like,
that all ships must pass through in order to get between the
I'm just saying,
Mediterranean Sea
you were talking like I'm a dumbass.
At least quickly. This makes the Bab el-Mandeb Strait one of the most geopolitically crucial maritime choke points in the world, especially from the perspective of the global oil and gas industry and the state security of dozens of countries from all around the world.
Anyway, whatever. All right, we can move on. All right, I'll put chat. I'll finish Resident Evil chat.